on YouTube. It is your boy, Hero for Hire, and today we got a podcast video, another one, part 2, well not part 2, episode 2, and this time, instead of my homie Cloudless, I got 2 brand new guesses. Other than y'all, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I guess I'll start. His homie isn't here, so the backup homies have come to join the podcast. I'm Reefplaysgames on YouTube. Make sure you go subscribe to that if you're on this video. And anime, gaming, whatnot, many other things, but I won't talk too much about that.
As Reef said, we got the reliable homies here. I'm Silver.Shadow on YouTube. Do just about any type of gaming so far, but trying to grow, expand, and yeah, y'all
obviously know who I am because my name's on the video. So, but yeah, these my 2 homies. Go check out go check out their channels. And today we finna continue our conversation that we had last time with my other homie about video games. So we finna continue on with video games conversations today. You feel me? And since it's 2 new people, hey, we finna get more opinions about this. So it's a question that I wanted to ask y'all that I had asked me and my homie the first video, and that question was, is 30 FPS acceptable in 2024?
Now, I think it depends on the type of game, to be honest with you, because there's games that, okay, probably not for any online games. That's probably pretty unacceptable these days. I lied. There's an exception. If the game's price is low enough, I think that it could be tolerated. But if you're trying to go for a full price, $60, even nowadays $70 game, then I don't think that's acceptable. Unless it's not online or supposed to be cheaper.
I like that reply, and I think that's a pretty interesting question, Hero. I think it depends. Like Silver said, I mean, I'm cool with 30 FPS if it's like a 2D game or something like that. Maybe, I don't know, like side scrollers and stuff like that. 30 FPS is fine. Even some single player games. But I've gotten to a point where I'm kind of expecting 60 FPS in most games. So like if it's online, especially like a first person shooter, I'm expecting 60 FPS. And if I don't get it, I'm a bit confused. Especially also, I would say single player games that are like high quality, like
that's true. Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII, the remake. So I started playing that when it first came out, but it was only 30 FPS because that was when it was the PS4 version on the PS5. So I literally waited until they actually updated it to the PS5 version and they got 60 FPS to play it. And I did not regret that at all. So I think it depends on the game, but in most cases, I'm kind of expecting 60 FPS.
Okay. That's some interesting replies, because I know in the other video I was saying this, and actually, honestly, not acceptable at this point. We come too far in gaming to still keep having 30 FPS as the default as the default for a lot of these games, especially since we on PS5 and the new Xbox, aka PC. But we can't wait too far. It's ridiculous.
I can agree with that, and I'll say, like, I think 30 FPS, I think 60 FPS is probably the new 30 FPS, and now 120 is like, that might be like a bit much, but people still want that. But 60 in most cases is what I'm looking for in games. And it's just the smoothness is unmatched. Honestly, I'm looking for 60 FPS more than I'm looking for like 4K. Like, I would rather do like, 2K quality with 60 FPS rather than like 4K with 30 FPS. Like, I just really like a smoother game. That's important.
I also think, especially since the consoles nowadays have been becoming more and more expensive, it should kind of be expected that they're increasing like the ability of what our consoles can do. So, yeah.
Right. That's pretty much that's really that's an important question at the. I know we got like the FGC for like fighting games, but like as a video game community, that's an important question we should be asking. So now, since this is a continuation we got more questions to answer. And I know some people, obviously, y'all viewed it, y'all didn't put in, some comments for questions. But hey, we got questions, we gotta answer anyway, and questions that we come up with ourselves in just regular conversations. And one of these questions, this is actually an interesting one because recently I discovered they had put the Persona 3 Reload soundtrack finally on Apple Music. So it begged the question on me: should video games OSTs, and for those of y'all that don't know, original soundtracks, but should video games OSTs be released on streaming services day one? Or like, should they do the whole, we gonna wait a while, and then we gonna be like, all right, let's put them on some streaming services outside of YouTube for people to listen to?
I think that's an interesting question. And a part of me wants to agree with it, but at the same time, like for like Persona, for example, I would be more than happy if that's dropping like on Apple Music or something. I can just listen to it immediately the moment the game comes out. But Call of Duty come out, I don't care about that shit. Like, I'm not trying to listen to a Call of Duty OST day one. So I think it depends on what game it is. Like Persona, games like Shin Megami Tensei, games like Kingdom Hearts, just games that are known for good music. I think that would be cool, but I think it would end up being oversaturated just because there's a lot of games that aren't really known for their
OSTs.
Yeah, for their
Dragon
OSTs.
Quest.
So yeah.
I think.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said Dragon Quest.
Bro, chill out.
Bro.
Dragon Quest got a good OST. Don't do that, bro.
I think that it would be fine. I think it's fine to stick with what they're doing right now, to wait until a game proves that it's gonna have good OSTs before they start releasing them. Because like some OSTs be kind of trash compared to others. Like as we said, different games got different levels of goodness in their OSTs. So a game like Persona, even though you would expect Persona to have good OSTs, I don't think that they should be dropping them any earlier than other games. I think waiting like a good month or so to prove like that the fans really want it and then dropping it is the best way to do it.
I see. Yeah. All I know is I want that Danganronpa OST day one. That's all I care about.
Let me get. As long as I get the Kingdom Hearts OST, we good. We good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's insane. Yeah. I'll say both. All right. So we answered that one. So what are some games that y'all think OSTs that outside of YouTube that ain't on streaming services? Like for example, Metal Gear Rising, because Reef, I know you banking with that soundtrack after playing it. I know you is.
It's pretty good.
But
I can't lie.
Yeah, what's some games that like y'all think OSTs should be released on like streaming services to listen to that you probably think that isn't outside Persona, obviously.
Oh. Wait. Is not released yet?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they're
underrated
released.
ones.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're released yet. Obviously, SoundCloud probably got them all, but like in terms of like Spotify, Apple Music and stuff, I say like they probably ain't really on there because I don't think Metal Gear Rising OST is on like Apple Music. But like, what are some games that like, let's say like you don't know that the OSTs is released on any streaming platforms? What's some games that y'all want to be released on there if y'all don't know that's there?
So I'm actually looking right now and I don't see any music for this game, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. Definitely Zero Escape. That whole series has some of my favorite music. I think they have something for every situation. And that's definitely something I would want to see on Apple Music, just so I can, shuffle through from time to time. But, also, I think even if a game has like a good OST, sometimes it might not necessarily be like a good thing for a streaming service, because like there's OSTs that you're not like walking around listening to on a daily basis. Like, I'm not finna walk around and listen to an Elden Ring boss fight like while I'm studying. Like, that's not finna happen.
Look.
So like, although like it has good music, you know, sometimes, you know, OSTs, maybe they shouldn't be on there because they don't have enough like variation. So,
Look,
but I'll go with Heroes Game.
Look, you say that, but I'm gonna be the one person bumping around that Yu-Gi-Oh OST, sir. Them joints be hidden.
Now those anime OSTs are a bit different. I will
not the anime, the games. The games got some good OSTs. Surprisingly.
Yeah, a great example of that. What? I don't remember the name of the Bleach game. I'm sure you could tell me, Reef. It was the Bleach game that we played on your channel that had like a crazy OST, but that wasn't a canon OST. That was just like the game's intro.
Are you talking about the one where it was me, you, Julian, and DeAndre?
The four.
Yeah.
The
I think it was Bleach
four-player
Dark
game?
Souls.
Yeah, like that game's for example. That game has.
Nah, that's
Wait.
canon. It's canon to
No,
it's canon to our
not Dark
hearts.
Souls.
You feel me?
Yeah. Wait, no, because I think doesn't Dark Souls have the third Bleach opening as the?
I don't remember. Are you talking about you're talking about the game where we were playing on DS?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was Bleach Dark Souls. Yeah, that was that one.
Okay, I think it's that game, but that game had a different opening than the actual Bleach opening. So I feel like those types of game OSTs, like the intros especially, because they usually be like some of the coolest OSTs that the game has. I said like boss fights or like Persona, because you know they're expected. But those OSTs, I feel like especially is even if the rest doesn't go, should be released on streaming services because the fans really tend to like those things. Like even me, if I have a OST, like Kingdom Hearts is a great example. Before I play the game, I'm just gonna let it rock because it's fire. I'm not gonna get to hear it inside the game.
Kingdom Hearts 1 main menu, bro, just sat there for hours contemplating life, bro.
They just be fire. So I feel like the openings for the games should be in there.
Okay.
That's good. That's pretty. That's you know, it's an interesting conversation. It's always good talking about the games OSTs because I feel like video game OSTs is always underrated because there's always games that, for example, like the Blaze Blue fighting game series. It's really some great OSTs there, and also games that we grew up playing that has really great OSTs. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2. God tier OSTs. So those are really great to hear. And this is an important question that, well, I won't even say this is an important question. This is like one of them common sense questions that everybody we already knows the answer to. Should crossplay be mandatory in multiplayer games, bro?
Absolutely. I can't tell you how annoying it is to be like an anime game fan and play games like Ultra Rumble or a Curse Clash and they don't got crossplay, and that's a modern. You're gonna label it a modern game, but I can't play with my friends because they don't got the same thing as me.
Oh God!
That there should be no exceptions for that.
I have to fully agree. I do not think that it makes sense that some games just don't have it. Honestly, I would say that's just as important as an online game not being 30 FPS. Like, why can't I play with other people that have separate consoles? Like, we don't all have the same thing. We have different things. But if a lot of games end up having this, like they do now, like we see battle royales with this and stuff like that, and even games that aren't battle royale, like it's gotten to a point where you need to have this because people are going away from games just because they don't have crossplay. If I can't play with my friend who has a PlayStation and I just have like a PC and I don't have a PlayStation, I'm not gonna play that game because that was the person that I wanted to play it with. And I know like a lot of scenarios where stuff like that has happened, and people just completely abandon games. So I think it is 110% a requirement, and developers need to start implementing this like with every game.
I have to piggyback. I have to piggyback with them. Wait, what the hell?
Don't worry about it. But I completely agree, right? So basically, especially nowadays, the way that games are like sold before they release is like the way that they be teasing to us. And games, the amount of money that these companies are making off of games is highly dependent on how they start to sell the games to us. And when people see that a game that's meant to be multiplayer doesn't have something like crossplay, they're not going to be very happy with that, because I'm trying to play the game online. Especially if it's meant to be played with other people, why can I not play with everybody else who has the game? Like, you don't see like a big game like Fortnite, for example. You would never see a game like that not having crossplay, because that's gonna kill their player base. It's just a fundamental requirement at this point.
Yeah, I have to piggyback on that too. Yeah, it's 100% agreeable with that one. Like, just recently now, Monster Hunter Wilds, like, they announced that it's finna have crossplay now, which like is the one thing that a lot of people wanted for the Monster Hunter franchise. So now the game is gonna be a lot much bigger, because we get to have crossplay with everybody now. So that's gonna be a much bigger game. And then even past games as well too, that don't got crossplay, that should have crossplay. It honestly saves franchises. Like, if Call of Duty probably didn't start implementing the whole crossplay thing, I'm pretty sure Call of Duty would probably die down a little bit. But since they have crossplay now, it's extremely much better to play with. So you can play with friends. 2K started doing that now, so now you can play with homies that's on Xbox and stuff. And then other games, honestly, it's 2024. Why are we still doing console wars, man? Why are we separating people? Like, at this point, we damn near tribes at this point, bro. Like, we need to come together, you feel me? Like, Martin Luther King Jr. didn't die for this, damn it.
Hell no.
He didn't die for us just for this stuff to keep happening, damn it. But
this is too much. The console wars have been a thing that's gone on for a long time, and I think, crossplay is that one thing that kind of stops it. And I think it's just really, really, really important. So,
right, especially if you got a game that's coming out on all the platforms. You telling me you finna sit here and I can see if it's exclusive here and here and exclusive there, but if a game is coming out on all the platforms, you finna sit here and tell me we not finna try to have crossplay on them? The amount of money that y'all missing out on? Come on, bro.
We looking right at you, Bandai. Y'all know, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is not gonna have crossplay when it first releases. Right?
Of course it ain't. And it should, bro.
It saddens me so much to know that, especially because I experience a lot of the hype myself, because I think this game is gonna be one of the greatest anime games to ever drop. But unfortunately, not having crossplay is gonna lower it down a little bit from the best of the best.
Alright, like, bro, come on, bro. We in 2024. What are we doing, Bandai? Come on now.
Yeah. Like, I've had this conversation so many times, but it seems like they don't want money. They just don't.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you.
I don't understand. Like, I don't get the logical reasoning behind this. Like, if one of their developers could come to me and explain why this is a thing, like, then maybe it would make sense, but I don't know.
The only thing that I could think of off the top of my head is that it's hard to implement. But really and truly, I can't imagine it being that hard to implement. Like, I bet you could probably get a crew, 500 people, and they could probably get that junk done in like 2 weeks.
Even if it is, like, it would probably be worth it in the end, because the amount of people that will play the game would skyrocket, because they can play with friends on different consoles now. And the more people that are playing, the more people that are buying stuff in your shop. And the more people that are playing, the more people are recommending it to other people they know. So, like, it's especially with, like, content creators, like, on YouTube, spreading the game's knowledge and stuff. The more good that they have to say about the game, like, even outside of the game's gameplay and stuff, like, just the game having crossplay is a big bonus, because it's like, all right, I can play with everybody that I know if we like this game. So there's no reason that they shouldn't have it. Absolutely not.
Right. Yeah. More people trying to play together, more money in your fucking pocket. You feel me? Call of Duty. I know, right? I know. They don't like more money. And speaking of more money, Actually, no, I don't even know how this even crossed into the segment. Actually, no, it's crossing into the next question, but a part 2 question about this, though, about crossplay being mandatory in multiplayer games. Should co-op / online be mandatory in a lot of these games? In a lot of these games. So, for prime example, right, with Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, obviously everybody knows that's a single player game. But with the way that the system is set up for it, right, do you think games like that should implement online co-op? Or even One Piece Odyssey, with the way that that game is also set up, and that's a single player game, and with the way people were describing how deep the combat system is for it, and the amount of strategies you can set up for it with the pirates that you have, and the way that you can implement adding other characters from the One Piece franchise into the game to unlock while playing story, by being forced to play story mode, so you can use the characters in multiplayer. Do you think a lot of single player games that have the potential to be a multiplayer game should try to integrate multiplayer into it?
I think as long as it has the potential, like you said. I think there's a lot of games that don't need it. Like, if we're talking about like single player games that have been single player for like a long time, like there's just certain games I kind of want to play alone. But if the game kind of fits, like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot or like a different game, then yeah, I can definitely see them doing that, and they should do that. I think the more features you have, the better. I don't think you can ever go wrong with giving more people the chance to play a game, especially together. So
I think that this should kind of go by a game basis, because naturally it's going to be different for different companies. Like, let's say there's this company like Atlas, like, you know, they're known for Persona and stuff. They're probably not going to be trying to make Persona a multiplayer game because they're so used to making a single player game. But on the other hand, hold on. But on the other hand, we got companies like Bandai, which are used to making like multiplayer games for people to play. I feel like their company in itself should know, after all the different games that they've made, whether or not it can or it can't be. But I do think at a baseline, it should be more common than it is currently, because it's just like you said, there are games out there that have the potential to be multiplayer, playing with multiple people, but they're just not for some reason.
Right. Yeah, I fully agree with that as well too. I mean, I gave my reason. They honestly should, man. If it shouldn't be like, yeah, day one we're gonna try to do the multiplayer thing. Like, I feel like we should, like, games like that, like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Odyssey, and One Piece Odyssey, games like that, it should, you know, be single player at first, and then announce like a huge update, like, hey, we're finna be adding this to it, this, you know, multiplayer or online co-op to it, and, you know, seeing how people react to it. And I'm pretty sure with that, you know, that type of announcement, a lot of people will try to get into the game more. You're gonna get more money for it as well too, since it's gonna be new online features to it, so you can play against people in it. And I know Kakarot tried to do that, but they had the whole card thing, which a lot of people didn't really like. So
I never even tried it.
I never tried it, bro. I never tried it. I didn't even want to. As soon as they said, yeah, we're gonna have online multiplayer, I wasn't interested. But what are like some examples of like some games that like you got, like you two like want to see, that's like a single player game integrating like online multiplayer, whether it's co-op, PvP, you feel me, or like what are some single player games that you guys play, like either growing up or recently, that you would think would thrive with online play?
Now, me personally, as a big Kingdom Hearts fan,
I know
there would be nothing that I would not do to get me a Kingdom Hearts game where it was PvP, because Now, back in the days, there's a DS game called 368 Over 2 Days. And that game had a whole roster of organization members and everything. And we've got more characters now than we did back then. So there's plenty of opportunity, and there's plenty of different moves and move sets, because it's already implemented into things like Kingdom Hearts 3. The bosses have their own move sets similar to Sora, and you can play as Sora, Riku, Roxas, Kairi, etc., etc., etc. So there's no reason that I think we should not have a PvP game or at least a game mode for a Kingdom Hearts game that's already been released. Because that would, I promise them, that would make them a lot of money. Make it DLC. I'm buying.
Hey, three-player multiplayer? Gee, hey, we with it.
Three-player co-op, PvE. They just need to start implementing it immediately.
And that would go crazy. Actually, did you see that there was actually a mod? I forgot which. I think it was Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh,
they did actually do like a versus mod on there. I don't think it was like a successful one, but like the idea of it though was like really great.
Exactly. That's exactly where I drew my inspiration for my answer from. It's because I've seen how good the mod was. Because the Kingdom Hearts modding community is great, and the fans loved it. Everybody was playing that mod. Everybody was trying to get their hands on PvP for Kingdom Hearts. So why would the studio not do it? It's beyond me.
I swear.
I've been over here for a while trying to think, and I don't really know if there's any like major games that I would want PvP for that are single player. The best I could think of is maybe if like the best thing I could think of is maybe if like we could do like a dungeon together in Persona. I think that would be pretty cool. I think the single player, as far as like the confidants and stuff like that, I think that's better served single player. But like maybe if I'm at a certain point in the story, you can come and take over one of my party members, and we can do like a dungeon together, or we can go into mementos together. I think that would be pretty cool.
That's actually good. See, I have an example for me personally is Persona 5 Scramble, and for those that don't know about that, it's literally the sequel to Persona 5, so it's been out for a minute. But that game is like they do a Dynasty Warriors type play with that game. And you can actually play with like more characters than Joker, so I feel like that game would really thrive on like online play. It would most definitely be played more if it was online co-op on there, because obviously you got the Persona 5 cast, and you got 2 new characters on there as well too that you'll be able to play with. Like that, it would be really great if you were able to just come in and just do like a hop in and hop out type of co-op, or like, hey, we got set up missions that we can do together online pretty much, and we can do all that. Like that would be really great for that game.
I remember that game coming out, and like there was like some slight hype around it, but like I didn't really hear anything after it came out, and it kind of died from my point of view.
Well, I never watched or played any of Scramble, so I wouldn't really know too much, but I can agree in the fact that Persona is a game where a lot of the characters are like actually good aside from the main character. Like there are single player games like like Mario, where there's gonna be like characters that you can play different as, and then there's gonna be games like Zelda. And I'm not gonna lie, I ain't playing as nobody but Link and Zelda. Maybe Zelda and Link, but that's it. So
they came out with that new. They're coming out with that new game where you can play as Zelda now. Apparently, they had that in the Switch. The announcement. What is it called? The Direct.
Yeah, the Direct.
The Nintendo Direct. Yeah, they had that, and apparently you can play as Zelda now. People said they should have called it The Legend of Link.
Oh my God.
Because anytime it's Legend of Zelda, like people think Link is Zelda. Even like me, before I even ever played Legend of Zelda, I thought that was Zelda. And
so did I.
So yeah, they need to call that Legend of Link. They need to do a name change.
I mean, because it made sense. Like, hold on, this game is called Legend of Zelda, but we not playing with Zelda. It's like it's only a few games where you actually got to play with Zelda along with Link.
Yeah.
I think games that have more like diverse and unique characters can pull it off. but I don't think that all single player games should be able to get that because there's not going to be enough variety. So it probably wouldn't sell well unless they, like I said before, lower the price of the game so people can actually think about buying it. I ain't buying no $60 game that's worth $10. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen.
I agree.
And that also ties into this next question. The most important question of whatever fucking year it came out when they started doing this. Should games go back to being $60 or should certain games stay where they're at? Like,
I think.
Actually,
go ahead.
Yeah, let me reread that question. Should all games go back to being $60 no matter what brand, no matter what game it is? It's the regular price of $60, or should what they're doing now with games, should they keep doing what they're doing?
So I'll start answering this question by saying the price of games for a very long time, like the maximum price was $60. I think it was like since 2005 or 4 maybe, like that was the price of a new game. So I can understand the price going up to 70 just because of the amount that it costs to make a game and like how things change over time. But what I will say is not every game should cost $70 because there isn't $70 per copy work put into every game.
EA, we looking at you, bro.
Yeah, so like I feel like when that, because some games still don't even charge $70. I feel like when that happened, certain companies saw, hey, you know what, might as well charge $70. Why not, right? And like they're not putting in $70 work. Like a game like Elden Ring, okay, you want to charge 70? I get it. That's a great game, great quality. Like you charge $70, but it feels like a damn near $100 game because there's so much content and things to do. But when you're dropping something like 2K, Madden every year, and you're dropping that for $70 every year, I'm not.
Right.
Some games aren't worth that. Some games they don't put like enough resources for it to actually be worth that. So yeah, I think it depends.
I'm gonna have to agree with Reef here. I think that some of the games that I enjoy the most, like a game like Ember Knights, which is like a roguelike game where you can
$20.
$20, and that game, to this day, we still play that game. We got so much hours on that game, and it's enjoyable. And one of the things that makes me enjoy it more is knowing that I'm playing a game, and I only got it for $20. So, a game that I'm buying for $60, it's gonna be. I'm sure it's gonna be great for like 2 days. But if it's not like an actual good game, I'm going to regret my purchase. And they got the ability to refund now, so you about to start losing money on that because I ain't gonna keep that game if I ain't gonna play it.
Yeah, I think like indie developers are good examples of games not needing to be $70. Ember Knights is a $20 game. It has insane replayability. You can play that as much as you want. There's always some new shit in the game that you haven't seen before. We have been playing this game for hours and hours and hours, and we haven't even unlocked everything yet. We're still trying. And they're adding basically a whole new game for free. So like, nah, like there's so much content in that game, and it's only $20. And realistically, I would have paid a little bit more for that game just because of how good the developers are. But certain games just don't need to be as much as they are. Like certain games are $70 and you can only get so much out of them. You maybe get like 30 hours out of it, and then it's just like there's no replayability, there's no online features, and then it's over. So I think it heavily depends on what game it is, but for the most part, most games are $70.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Pretty much agree with that. I'm pretty sure everybody agrees with that. Because a lot of these games that's out now shouldn't really be, $70. And especially when they first announced, like, oh yeah, we're gonna start making like these AAA games, like COD, 2K, Madden, all that, like $70. And I feel like it really shouldn't be $70. It should go back to being 60 because first of all, ain't nobody got time to be dropping $70 on these games, bro. Especially if it's back to back coming out, that games that you want, and they all say no, ain't got time for all that. And then like I said, a lot of these games are either copy and paste from the last version of the game, or they're it's barely any type of content, and that's the one thing that I feel like a lot of these games that's coming out don't have, is a lot of content at start, and then we're forced to pay the rest of the game, buy the rest of the game later on when it releases, and that's even more. So it's like we're spending $70 off rip, then having to spend probably like 20 or 30 more, 40, 50 more dollars for the rest of the game. Like the Elden Ring DLC, I think it's like 30 or 40, but that type of game, that's worth it because it's a whole bunch of content for as much as for what you're buying for. You can put hundreds of hours in that mud. Like for me, for example, for like Monster Hunter World, that's like a type of game that I spend 70 on because it's a whole bunch of content that you can do on that game, a variety of things that you can build for your, as your gear and stuff, the type of armor sets you want. Like even if it's like the same type of missions you're doing over and over repetitively, it's still a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. And like y'all said, Ember Knights, it's a whole bunch of stuff that you can unlock, and on top of that, shoot, y'all ain't done yet, and y'all put in over 100 hours in that game. So it's like game, and on top of that, it's less money too. So it's like, okay, if people are getting $20, like 100 hours worth of playtime in these $20 games, indie games, then these these $70 games that people are consistently buying, we can bump this shit back down to 60. And if the game is really great and it has, I won't even say like a lot of content, if it has a decent amount of content or a good amount of content off rip, then hey, I'm pretty sure people wouldn't mind spending like 30, 40 for DLC pack, expansion that we finna have, release and stuff, you feel me? Or character packs that they're gonna release for the fighting game, as long as the game is good. But a lot of these games honestly need to just go back to 60 because it's too much money being poured into these lackluster games.
Yeah, I can pretty much agree with that.
Yeah, I'd say the exception to that would be like an alternative solution for the game companies would be to change the formula of the game. Like a really, really popular game, Fortnite, free game. But because they know that their game is gonna be like played by people and they update it, they add new content and stuff. Like I don't even like Fortnite that much, but every now and then I go back to Fortnite because like, okay, it's kind of cool, this thing that they just added. Let me go try it out with some friends, have a good time for a little bit and maybe drop it, come back again. But they rely on their in-game purchases, and I'm not a big fan of in-game purchases for content, but if it's for something like cosmetics, as much as I hate to say it, it's a great idea because you can release the game, everybody gets to play it, and then all of the people who like your game are going to be spending on that game.
Right.
And then people like content creators who get popular off of that game are going to keep putting money into it so that people watch them because they put the money. Like, why would I spend the money for this when I could watch somebody else spend the money and do it? So it's a great idea because it'll also influence other people that have seen them like, oh, I think that looks kind of cool. Let me get that skin, or let me get that battle pass. So,
and I can agree with you. I think a lot of games could take that strategy, but what I will say is sometimes it can be difficult because I think in order to do a strategy like that, you truly have to believe you have a really good game. Like Fortnite is able to do that because they've been doing this for a while. They have so many features, like they have their formula down. But like, for example, like a game like Knockout City, it was like $20 when it first came out, and it died because it seemed like it should be a free-to-play game. They had the good cosmetics, they had great gameplay, but they were charging people for like kind of like a very niche like subject, like dodgeball, like in the street. But I think that game would have worked way better if they dropped it free, and then kind of, you know, went into, you know, cosmetics and stuff like that, where they charged people for that stuff. And then eventually they did do that, but at that point it was pretty much already over.
Right.
So I think a big part of doing the free-to-play thing with cosmetics is you believing that you have a really good product. And if you do, and it works out, I think it's great. But sometimes it doesn't, and it's like you kind of have to invest at that point, because you're putting all this money into making this game. You have to hope people are going to want to play it enough to buy the stuff that you have in it, and unfortunately that is not always the case. So I think you just have to have a really good game, and you have to market it appropriately. I think those are two very important things.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I actually think that's a good idea. Not for all games, but like some games. Like I seen somebody, a content creator on TikTok, I forgot his name, but he was saying that like 2K and Madden should be free, and like how they do do the games, right? Like if they do it right, like you can we can buy like the update rosters and stuff like each following year, as long as the game is free. And I kind of agree with that, because especially like for 2K, because it's like, okay, we're already paying like $70 for the game, then on top of that, like for content creators, for example, they're paying $70, whatever expansion that they getting, $70, $100, $120, whatever edition that they get in the game for. Then on top of that, they dropping more money on their my career character so they can get it to 90 quickly. So it's like at that point you're basically spending $200 on a game right there. Thankfully Madden don't be doing that shit, but like
the moment you get 2K, you literally have to spend like at least $30 to $40, because you have to upgrade your character, and you can't be trash, because that's just the way it works. And it's unfortunate. Like when I was working at GameStop, like people would come in and buy 2K, and they would buy more stuff with it. They would buy PlayStation gift cards with it, because I already know what this is for. They have to buy BC, because if you don't, the grind takes way too long. So a game like 2K could definitely be free, and you know, just do microtransactions after that. I mean, that's what you live off of anyway. So
yeah,
right.
But companies are greedy, bro. You know, if they can get a cool 60, 70 off of you, they're gonna do it.
Right.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Exactly. Not even though I'm preaching for games to be like drop-in free. A great example is a game that I've played so more hours than I would like to admit, Destiny 2. And Destiny 2 right now, free. It didn't used to be free. That's because they dropped so much more content. But the thing about Destiny 2's new content is that's a smooth $40. And that over, then you get to play with everybody else's play. Oh, we're gonna drop one 2 years from now too. Oh, that's another $40. And I thought this because it's smart. And I won't lie, but the company's greed is gonna win out in that situation over a game that's like $80 for all of the content if it's not a great game. So I think another thing that plays into it is the type of game that is being released, because not every game someone's gonna want to pay like $60 to play. Like except like, and a good exception is content creators. But even then, like people be refunding games crazy now. Because a lot of games be charging too much for what's really not worth. So I think the Destiny idea is great, to where you could play a lot of it, but if you want to like get more than the base game, then you could pay.
Right.
I think to close this out, I hate to say this, but I get it. I get why companies do this, because at the end of the day, like, we will sit here and complain about buying the same games for $60, but if we keep doing it, we're not giving them any incentive to stop selling it to us. If you want change, you're gonna have to stop. Like, if all the people that were playing 2K that I know feel this way, the same way I do, if they actually like went into action and stopped buying the game, things would definitely change. But people aren't gonna do that, man, and it's unfortunate. So we're kind of in this constant limbo of complaining, you know, and then just being like, hey, it's $60, I'll make it back, whatever, and just throwing it at the game, and like you're just feeding into, you know, what they're trying to do at that point. Yeah, mediocrity. You're feeding into the mediocrity at that point, and you keep like prolonging it, and it's just not something that's gonna stop if we all just keep doing it over and over and over again. We were giving them no reason to stop.
For real. Shit. Yeah, that pretty much is the hard fact. Well, a hard pill that a lot of people ain't gonna accept on that one, you know. And it's sad. Like, we trying to elevate games, and people sit here like, you know what? Yeah, it's okay. Like, we you know, they'll update the game. No, the fuck they won't. You throwing $60 at 2K for a layup for probably the only thing that's gonna be new is a new layup package. It ain't. Everything's the same. Updated roster, same goddamn graphics. We can finally see the sweat on the players. Hooray!
Bro, that's all they do. They just make the sweat more realistic. They just give them more sweat every year. They give them more sweat every year and say the graphics are better. That's what
it's
they
like,
do.
Yeah, we enhanced the graphics. You just see the sweat off them.
Bro just made them sweatier. That's all they do, bro.
Yeah, we see the sweat on them. We got a new dunk package.
I get some good gameplay though. Like, damn. I'm not just trying to see sweat added. Like, I want some new features. Like, bro, it's
I'm trying to see how them frames are. What that frame rate is.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to put it as the end all be all, is that games aren't gonna change if the players is buying what they already got. If I'm making $1 million after this game I'm selling every year with a couple of new characters, a redesign on this, and a little bit more sweat, then why would I change it?
Like, for example, let's say, like, this is completely random, but let's say you're baking cookies, right? And you have a batch that's kind of trash that takes you 10 minutes to bake. You have a batch that's really good that takes you an hour, but people are paying the same amount for the $10 or the 10 minute batch as the hour batch. Why am I wasting my time making an hour batch of cookies if I know you're gonna buy this shit, bro? I'm not doing it.
Oh God.
Players in this day and age in 2024 should know that these companies are greedy as hell. They don't care. So if you don't care, they ain't gonna care.
I know.
You gotta change it by not buying the game.
Exactly. You got so do you want this Call of Duty now that's like that's kind of mediocre? Y'all probably gonna say it's garbage. We just gonna re-release some maps, that's been on all these other CODs, or do you want a 5-year in the making type of COD, and brand new, all better? Yeah, I'm gonna take the 1 per year that's the same, and you just look at them like, why?
And like, one of the main problems with that probably is, even if we tried to go on like a strike or something, some people only play Call of Duty. Some people have a 3-game rotation, Hero. It's Call of Duty, Madden, 2K. That's all they play. That's all they'll ever play.
No, don't forget about
when
GTA.
They do that,
GTA's in there too.
Yeah, add GTA in there. So we do a 4-game rotation, right? That's all they play every year. So at the end of the day, they're not being as selective with what they purchase as far as games as us. So they don't care. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna pay the $60 every year. So what? I only buy 4 games a year anyway. And then, like, it's hard to monopolize the market when people are so dead set on buying trash every single year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Bandai, I'm looking at you too. All these anime games you be trying to. All these anime games y'all be releasing, trash. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Sparking Zero looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, except for that crossplay. Add that now, please.
Oh God.
They might probably just. I was looking at it and it said there's no plans for release, but like, I would hope so.
Hey, look, we convinced. Hey, look, we convinced. Hey, look, we got them to have fucking local multiplayer, bro. Anything possible. Because that was the one thing people complained about for Sparking Zero.
Wait, Sparking Zero didn't have local multiplayer at first?
No, it didn't.
But the reason, no, they actually did have a good reason.
They explained why.
Because the game was so built, like, especially like the stages and stuff, was so built to be so good looking that it wasn't like they weren't able to do it like split screen while having all of the same stage destruction happening like twice at the same time. And that's why you can only do local multiplayer on one map, which you've seen a little bit. You know a little bit about Dragon Ball. The hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah,
is
because that's a
basically the
very
only-
plain map.
Exactly. So I guess if they added more plain maps, and if people keep requesting it, please fans, then they would add more maps for it.
That's an interesting reason. I never thought of that. At least they gave a reason.
I mean, but that's understandable because like they were intentionally making the game to be single player, so they put forth all this effort into trying to create the game as Dragon Ball as possible with all the destruction and all the the transformation affecting the area and stages and stuff. So obviously they were really trying to make it into a like legit Dragon Ball game, which is respectable. Because the closest we got really is Xenoverse. But I understand why though. But hey, at least they added it. Like they listened to us. At least they added it, even if it's on.
So if they did that, there's hope for crossplay. I would say.
Like it don't gotta be now, but like hey, later on, hey,
Eventually, yeah.
at that mug is DLC. Free DLC.
Bro, it's the thing is crazy because like I literally any game that comes out like this, I would 125% just get on my PC and then just play it crossplay if I could. But I already know most of the people that I play with, they have PlayStation, so I'm just gonna buy it on PlayStation because I literally have no choice. Because if I don't, I will be playing by my damn self.
Yeah,
nah, for real. That's how I felt with My Hero at first. I didn't have a PS5. I'm like, damn, I gotta play PC solo. Y'all having fun on it on release and shit. I gotta play it solo. I'm like, it's some bullshit. But
that's annoying, bro.
Yeah, the struggle is real. But hey, at least they thought of we told them about the change, and they thought of the change and did the change. And speaking of changes, our last question of the day: what is a game series or just a single game for that franchise that you would want to have remastered, and what would you do different for it? Silver, I feel like I'm looking at.
If I can pick any game to get remastered.
Any game. I'm pretty sure I had asked this on the first video as well too, but I want to ask you guys as well too. What is a game series or just a singular game that you will want to have remastered? And if you could touch it up a little, what would you change about it?
I got 2 games, and they're both single player. All right.
It's one of them
First
Kingdom
game.
Hearts.
So one of them is the Kingdom Hearts
Fucking
game.
knew it.
Since you said that, I was gonna leave it for a second, but I guess I'll put it in there now. Literally the game that I was talking about earlier, on 358 by 2 days. That's the game that's the only Kingdom Hearts game where the main character is my favorite character, Roxy. All right. And that game is old as hell, and it sucks. All right, I'm gonna admit, as a Kingdom Hearts fan, it sucks.
No, we can't be admitting that, bro. Look, we burn with the bridge. We burn with the bridge.
I tried replaying that game because it was my favorite game, and I was just like, wow, this game needs to be remade. Literally, because they ended up like adding the DS games for Kingdom Hearts onto like the PlayStation like versions and stuff, but all they did was upgrade the cutscenes a little bit, and they just told the whole story through those games and cutscenes, and that's cool. But I'm trying to play as Roxas, all right? And that was the game that let you play as the most Kingdom Hearts characters out of every game, letting you play through all of the organization members, Mickey, Roxas, etc., etc. So that game getting a remake, making it have online co-op and online like versus, that would be sick. Because you literally in the game, and as a single player, you run around as Roxas, and then you have an organization member helping. So there's no reason that they can't just make that another person. That would be fire. And then the second game, as a Sonic fan,
wait.
Sonic 06 needs a remake. All right.
06?
Sonic 06 was a game that had so much potential, so many good ideas, but they just rushed it. And that having a remake would do justice to the Sonic franchise. I think that would be good.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought you was finna say Adventure 2 Battle has, everybody in all Sonic fan hearts, that best game.
And I would now listen. Normally I'd say Adventure 2, but the Sonic X Shadow Generations, they probably gonna have a lot of Adventure 2 stages. So I don't gotta touch too
you know what
deep
Sonic
into
game I
that.
would want? Unleash, remaster Unleash. Yes,
A lot of people complain about the old Unleash formula. I think Unleash is still good.
Yeah, I liked it. Mr. Reef.
So
Yep.
I thought about this for a while. So one was kind of like right there for me, and I didn't take too long to think about it. And then the other one, I put some thought into it, and I was like, yeah, that would be cool. So I'll start with the first one. So the first one, I grew up playing a lot. It's funny that we talked about this because I'm literally going right back to it. But I grew up playing a lot of Call of Duty, and Modern Warfare 2 was my favorite one. And being able to get like an actual remake of that game and not them just branding games as Modern Warfare 2, because that's what they're doing now. Like there's literally a Call of Duty called Modern Warfare 2, but it has nothing to do with what the past one had.
Yeah.
So yeah, if they like add the original and remaster it, kind of keeps the same mechanics, I would love that. I would play that online a lot. I would enjoy that. The second one I thought about for a hot minute, and I decided. So this game came out in like 2012. It's not that old, but it's also not available to play in America. I would want them to do a remake of and globally release Dragon Quest X, which is an MMO online RPG for Dragon Quest. I think that would be really cool.
I forgot we did talk about that a while ago too.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that, Silver, but Dragon Quest X is an online MMORPG exclusive to Japan. Yes, I would love to have that in the West. So if they, I would make that happen for sure, and just make sure it's globally released so everybody can play it. Because I've only heard really good things about it. I would love to play that.
I honestly wanted to. I was mad I seen it as like an emulated game. I'm like, wait, hold on. This is multiplayer? I'm like, damn. I'll say, for me, since y'all picking two, my first one, dear to my heart, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Rose. That will forever be my favorite. Well, actually, no, I'll take that back. That would be my second favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Game outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! Tag Force.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel!
Shut up. See, now, if Master Duel system was better to, like, gain more material and stuff to create cards with, I'd say Master Duel would be my number one. But nah, fuck that. But nah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Rose, I would most definitely recommend that people that has PCs to download and emulate, because that was an actual really interesting Yu-Gi-Oh! Game back then, the PS2. One of the actually best ones, and also one of the hardest ones to beat for a lot of people, because of how it was. It was like legit like a chess game, bro. It was hard as hell. So I would most definitely recommend people to go do that, and to have online multiplayer on that with updated cards like that we got now. Shit, hey, I ain't gonna lie. What is Master Duel at that point,
bro? Hey, you know what I was thinking? So earlier we were talking about games that are free, and like you kind of will buy extra stuff in the game because like you like the game, is free, and then it'll end up kind of being worth it to you. Nigga, Master Duel is free, and those gems will never be worth it. I am not buying that shit ever, bro. It's not happening ever. Nah,
for real. Like, you barely get any gems for a whole 10-pack.
They charge you way too, like those prices literally need to be half. Those prices need to be half. Because that doesn't make any sense.
It's the same for My Hero too, bro. In order for me to get a rose, first of all, the rose are already hard as fuck to get in game. Then second of all, if you want to buy them, you gotta spend 30 for just one 10 roll.
It's actually insane, and there's no pity system. You're not guaranteed to get anything that you want in that 10 back.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And that's how I feel about playing Master. Like, you're charging me however much for 1,000 gems. I'm gonna buy this one pack, bro. I not get any UR. I might get 0 UR, and I'm going to be pissed the hell off. So I'm not doing it. I'm just gonna play online. I'm gonna wait till they have events and stuff. Because at the end of the day, even if I get 8,000 gems and I'm buying packs, if my deck is expensive that I'm making, there's a chance I still don't have enough to make it with even that, which is crazy. So in 8,000 gems, I don't even know how much that is in real money. So I don't even want to go there.
It's too much. It's too much.
It's too damn much.
We're just gonna leave it at that.
For
It's way too much.
I think a great example of a good gacha system, and I don't even like gacha systems that much, but Solo Leveling Arise has a great gacha system because they let you choose like 4 different things on the banner that you get to up the price for, or up the rate that you're gonna get it for, so you can get it more consistently. I think if you're gonna have a gacha system, at least 1, make it so the currency isn't that insane to get, and 2, let us actually get what we're trying to pull for. Like, you don't have to make it so the rates are so bad that everybody has everything, because it's not gonna feel as good getting what you want. But let us choose what we want to prioritize over every other thing. I think that's a great way to do it.
Yeah, a lot of gacha games are honestly like scams, which is pretty sad.
We completely got off topic. You were supposed to say your second game. The second game you wanted a remake for.
All right, I would say the second game is the original Sonic Riders. Honestly, it's a real simple fix. Don't change the game. Just bring the game over to current consoles, update the roster, add more characters, and add more maps. That's all. And new boards. Phenomenal. That's all we fucking need for that game. But back to that gacha. But back to that gacha system though, you feel me? Yeah, a lot of these gacha games are scams, like I just said. You got Master Duel, that's sometimes a scam because of these fucking gems costing too damn much.
Yeah.
You got My Hero, the same fucking example. All these hard rolls to even get, then you want us to spend like $25 to $30 just to get 10 roll. And then on top of that, the rolls are so bad on there. It's better to I found out it's better to do a single roll than it is to do a 10 roll, because the rates for the 10 roll are so terrible to get like the new stuff that it's like legit ridiculous. Like the new Dabi Quirk set, it's like a 1.0 chance for a single roll. For a 10 roll, everything is like under 0.1. I mean, not 0.1, 1.0. Everything is under that. And it's just like, what the hell?
As someone who has played a lot of gacha games, 1% chance isn't even that bad. But that is the highest thing on that entire banner. Everything else, aside from that quirk set, just gets lower and lower and lower. So it's like impossible.
And they want to give us.
Which is why I still don't have like any of the skins that I really want.
And they want to give us fucking voice lines and shit like we gonna use them.
But that's a conversation for a whole another day. That's a rabbit hole.
Well, that's a rabbit hole. That's a rabbit hole that we probably ain't gonna dive down too much, because we know the struggles of gacha games. We know the struggle, sadly.
If I had to sum up everything we talked about, I would say gaming is I don't know if it's going in the wrong direction or the right direction, but I know it's going in a direction. It's going somewhere, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, but we're gonna need some time to find out, because there's some good in it and there's some not so good.
I say,
is gaming a hobby or is it a delicacy at this point?
Tell us something. Are we paying? It's like, are we paying to have fun, or are we paying to sweat at this point? Are we paying like damn near? We're damn near paying taxes on this shit. Gaming going up. At least the consoles were cheap versus like the previous ones.
They weren't bad. Yeah.
So we're gonna.
I mean, some people would beg to differ, because when PS5 came out, the resale rate was insane. Like they weren't able to get it, but I ain't had that problem. I worked at GameStop, so
I know you fucking had a cheat code.
I scooped that up real quick.
Bro, got them connections, huh?
Hey, bro, I carried that joint outside. So like when I was working in there, when the PS5s first released, we didn't even have like the regular GameStop bags for them. Since they were like so like hot, and like people really wanted them, bro, we were putting them joints in trash bags and handing them to people, so they didn't know it was from GameStop. Like it was crazy.
That's
bro.
insane. I see Reef had the GameStop hookups too. Shit, look, I had the hookups too for when I was little. My mom used to work there. The best, oh my gosh, that was the best job ever that she ever had, bro. She brought on all these new games, the pre-owned games. Shit, I got to play Afro Samurai when that shit released. I was like, ooh, hold on, what's this?
That's crazy.
And then even when she stopped working at GameStop, she had connections there, so I had deals on deals.
Yeah, even like I don't go there often anymore, but if I wanted to pull up and get something done when PS6 come out, I should be good.
Sure,
That's all I like to hear.
Sure,
I have to make you sit at myself.
Oh, hell no.
Sure, matter of fact, one last question real quick, since we just on the topic of GameStop that I'm thinking about. Just one last question before we end this. Do y'all think it's better to buy games digitally, or do you think it's still value in buying a physical copy?
So
The benefit.
Oh, go ahead, Silver. I'll let you go first.
Alright. I think the greatest benefit to buying a physical copy is two things.
Mm-hmm.
The first being the fact that you can share it with other people.
Right.
Now, usually data is stored on the console and not on the disc, so you're not going to have the problem of, oh, I don't want this guy playing where I'm at. But if I lend the disc to a homie, he's going to get to play the game for himself, I can play the game for myself, and I own the game. Now, the second benefit of buying this is what I just said. You actually get to own the game. Because I know it's become quite the hot topic as of recent as to whether people should actually be able to own the games that they buy, which I think is crazy. I think that if I spend money to play the game, that's my game now. All right, I bought it.
It's my shit.
Yeah,
right.
You sold it to me. Now I get to use it how I please. All right.
Yeah. So working at GameStop, this question comes up a lot, and it took me. I think it took me working there to understand it, but like physical games, I think are just way better to own, just because like you can get rid of them if you don't want them anymore. Like for example, the biggest example of this would be like the new Madden comes out, right? I will never be touching that old Madden again. It's not happening, no matter what. The new one is out. It's obsolete at this point. So like, even though GameStop, they're only gonna give you like $5 to $10 for that Madden when the new one comes out, it's still $5 to $10 more than I would have had if that shit was digital. So I'm taking that. One, two. Over time, certain games will go up as far as like how much they're worth. Like we're seeing that a lot now with like GameCube games. They're way up in price now. Like Nintendo 64 games, retro games go up. So if you like hold on to your games for a while, depending on what game it is, you could find it being worth more than what you even bought it for when it was new.
Yeah.
So that's the second reason. Third reason is just owning it. I think it's really cool to be able to look at game cases. Like some games don't really have booklets anymore, but looking at like booklets and stuff is really cool.
Editions.
Like so like one of my favorite so I actually ended up trading this in because I finished it, but the Danganronpa, there's an actual disc. It's a 2-disc set. It's Danganronpa Reload 1 and 2, and it's Danganronpa 3. So it's 2 discs and it's 3 full games, but in the case there's like a booklet, and like literally every character is in the booklet, and it talks about all of them, and I think that's really cool. I kept the case and the book just for that, and I just got rid of the game, but I still have like the case and the book just because I thought that was really cool. So being able to hold stuff like that, and even like collector's editions, I don't really get collector's editions often of games, but like you can get some cool stuff with some collector's editions, like statues. I remember when I was working at GameStop, like I think this was like 5 years ago, it was a while ago, but Hitman 2 had come out, and like the collector's edition for that game was crazy. That game, like it was literally a briefcase Like, we sold them a briefcase, and in the briefcase, you got the game and a whole bunch of other shit. Yeah, you should look it up. The Hitman 2 Collector's Edition is a briefcase. I was like, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen. It was so clean. I've never played Hitman 2 before, but when I saw that, I was like, yo,
that shit will be clean. That is tough.
That was tough as hell.
Tosa, hey, here you, Tosa, yeah, that'd be $100 to slap the briefcase on the counter, like,
yeah.
I'd just be looking around the corner, like,
even for things like Persona too, because like my friend, I have a big Persona friend, and he had gotten like the Joker mask for getting like the collector's edition for Persona, and on top of other things, I don't really remember them too well, but just the thing for fans, I thought that was cool. And also kind of going back to what you said earlier, Reef, kind of on like the topic of advertising, because I know online advertising is big now, but for kids, like when I was younger, getting to buy games, like going with my mom to like GameStop or something, looking at the back of the game case and seeing like the little bit of stuff about the games, like, and then on the inside they had like a cool little package that you could look at, maybe like, get like tips or like characters and stuff. I thought that stuff was so cool.
So wait, I'm actually sharing it right now. I don't know if y'all can
fresh
see
new
this.
game case too.
Can y'all see what I'm showing right now or no?
Yeah, I can see.
So yeah, this is what it looks like.
So the people can see.
Yeah, this is clean as hell. It comes with a little rubber duck. Comes with a coin.
That is clean.
It comes with a key ring. That's a bullet. Yeah. So this was what it looked like, and it literally just comes in this fire case, bro.
That is wow.
That's clean.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, yeah, like just stuff like that in general. I think being able to have collector's editions, statues, like those are things that you can remember games by long after you beat them. So I think I'm always a physical edition for sure, if I can get it. But yeah, and just collecting too, like, you know, being able to have them in a corner over there, you got games stacked up, and then you can kind of just remember them. It's way better than digital, I think.
Yeah, like because like Sparking Zero, I think the collector's edition comes with like 2 statues. I think one was like Broly, like Shenron and Dragon Balls. I'm not too sure, but I know it comes with one of them. But yeah, I think physical copies is much better. Like, obviously, personally for me, digital is much better because I'm game sharing with one of my homies. But if I didn't game share though, I would say physical copies would be so much better, especially like in a situation like, for example, let's say like you get your account like banned for like some time, you can't access your games or nothing, so it's like it'd be a waste. Like, okay, you spent thousands of dollars on digital games and now you can't access them no more because your account banned. So it's like, damn, like that's kind of it's fucked. You're gone. You're gone.
What you just said kind of reminds me of the one benefit of digital games, like game sharing. Because me and Nick, my friend Nick, we would like we both share each other's accounts on PS5. So like anytime we both want a game, instead of paying that new $70 price that nobody wants to pay,
we be going
just
half
split
on that
35,
Yeah.
and we both got the game now. So like that's really cool, I will say. But you know, sometimes, you know, there might be a game that I want that he's not interested in, or vice versa. If that's the case, I'm gonna get physical. But if there's a game that we like kind of both want, then it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to buy the physical version of the game if game sharing exists and I'm only paying half the price now. So that's the only thing that leans me towards digital, just because it's cheaper in that aspect.
And then physical copies is obviously much better as well too, because like y'all said, games, you know, the more they age, and it's a well-known game, like for example, like Mario Kart Double Dash, like Super Smash Melee, those games still $60 on eBay when you look it up and try to buy it. So those obviously still age well, so you can get a whole bunch of money for them games. Then on top of that, you
price for those are only gonna go up.
Exactly. Then digital games ain't got that fresh new game case smell. You feel me?
Man, you can't get that.
You can't get that
with digital games.
It's
that smell after you crack open a game case, you rip off the cellophane. Like that's a core memory unlocked.
Right, that's a tough day. That's tough. 'Cause I remember I had bought the Modern Warfare 3 physical. All I did was to smell that case. I'm like, ooh, this feels good.
Yeah, man, that new
good.
game smell. It's similar to like new shoe smell, but
Or new car
it's
smell.
better because yeah,
new car smell is underrated. I'm not gonna
bro. My
lie.
new car smell, like when I got my new car, that shit lasted for like 4 months, bro.
God damn.
Well,
It was a long,
lasted a while.
it lasted a while. But yeah, just the smell of new, like I can't smell a digital game, bro.
I
So
know.
it's just the physical. It's so much more that you get. for it.
Right, then the excitement you get when you get it, then you go on the way
Yeah.
home, you speeding and shit, like you can't wait to pop it in. You feel
Holding
me?
that case before you play the game, man. The excitement that builds up is kind of unmatched. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
Yeah, I think, and that's something that eventually, unfortunately, is probably going to be lost because, like, a lot of people buy digital games now. A lot of companies are like
Closing.
kind of, yeah, like GameStop, for example. Like, GameStop used to be like 100% games. Now, if you walk into a GameStop, it's like maybe 40% games, and the rest is like collectibles and stuff like that because they had to. Because people are buying digital games now. They're just too lazy to go up and buy it. So they're like, hey, I might as well. I mean, it's right here on the console. Why not? So, yeah, it's unfortunate. But, like, I'd give it 10, 15 years, maybe even less. We might not even have physical games anymore.
That kind of ties back into what we were talking about earlier too, about like free games like Ultra Rumble, Fortnite. You can't really sell that at something like a GameStop. That's kind of something that's online exclusive. You can't get that there. So, like you said, we're kind of moving into a time where you might not get them cases no more unless you buy the collectible, like collector's edition or something.
Yeah, and companies might start to say, hey, it's not even worth it to drop collector's editions anymore. We're just gonna drop it digitally, whatever. And if it comes to that, it's gonna be unfortunate. But what I will say is, if it does come to that, physical games that were already released in the past are gonna start to skyrocket as far as
Even
like
if
prices and stuff like that.
Even if it's a bad game too, it's like as long as it's like the last like of its of the physical game era, like it's gonna be worth something at that point.
Give it like 30 years, bro. It's gonna be rare just to see a physical game. People are probably gonna pay more for it just because it's physical, no matter what game it is. Like, damn, that's a physical game. What? Like, I didn't even. Like, imagine when. Silver, like, for example, when you have kids, bro, they're like, what the fuck is a physical game?
They ain't gonna know what a DS is. DS, that's gonna be
bro,
unfamiliar.
like, what the fuck is a PS2? Dad, what's a PlayStation 1? Like,
it's gonna be crazy, bro. Like,
even me for a while didn't know what like an Atari was, because that's like some of the OG games. Nah, I know it's gonna be crazy, but I didn't know what it was for a long time.
It's alright. It's okay. You didn't grow up in that era. That's fine.
So coming from someone who's a little bit younger, is times will take it. So
it's okay. So look, we understand your generation. Like me and Reef, we grew up in the golden age of the systems. So
oh no, it was the golden age.
No, it was because we had the PS2,
Nintendo 64, GameCube, PS2, like 360, all of that, bro. That was legendary time. And that was like the peak of like online gaming, in my opinion. Because like back then, online gaming wasn't as
popular
it wasn't as soft. what I'll say is, like, people online back then, Silver, there was no filter. Like, they did not care at all. Like, it's still like that a little bit sometimes, but like you would join like a Call of Duty lobby and you would just hear screaming. Like, people just arguing over each other. Like, literally, that's all you would hear is screaming.
Don't let a little kid get in there, bro. It's all raps. Oh my gosh, bro. Little Timmy over there screaming his lungs out. Like, where's your mom?
Exactly.
I miss those days.
Yeah. Good times, but I mean, hey, we got Discord now.
Shit, Discord, damn
near. Can't do this in the
Discord,
Xbox
damn
party.
near fucking worse at this point.
Low key, bro, Discord chats might be they might be a little worse. Niggas like Hollow and Julie. they say some things I never really heard in Xbox game chats. So you know,
the things that they be saying. Shit, Reef, I've been in it all, bro. Oh, the things that they say, I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of surface level of the stuff that I grew up hearing in these COD lobbies. Oh, don't even let me talk about them Halo lobbies. Jesus.
Oh yeah, Halo 3 was my game. So those lobbies, and a lot of you would deal with like a lot of racism too, in those lobbies, like N-word, like people get super confident when you don't know where they live and when you can't see their face. Like that's when people just change their entire persona. It's insane.
But hey, those were the fun times. Now it's not even fun no more. Get reported for anything.
I'll still say
it's loud a little bit, right?
It's not like it used to be. Yeah, it's different. That's the big word. It's different. I still have a good time playing online and stuff like that. There's a lot of new, innovative games coming out and stuff that are kind of, gonna lead us into the future. But there's also, like we talked about, a lot of issues that need to be resolved. And in time, as long as we make them do it, I think they will. But kind of have to, be that voice and not buy into the stuff that we don't want, because if we do, it's just gonna keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, people, it is the end of these questions and the questions that we kind of made up on the spot and just the conversations that we made. It was a good time having y'all part of this podcast. Thank you.
Hero about to look back at this shit like, damn, it wasn't recording.
hey, chill out, bro. Hey, look, I had looked.
My bad.
Hey, look, I look-key did look a couple times to be like, wait, let me make sure I'm recording.
You ain't looking like.
I had to make sure this was low-key kind of recorded sometimes at some points. But thank y'all. Hey, thank y'all for watching. Thank you too for coming, subbing in. You feel me, Silver? Thank you for being available. In place of a homie, which I'm pretty sure next podcast when he's all set and ready, I'll probably invite both of y'all back too, and it'd be the four of us in here. We get to talking about some more stuff. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. Hit that like and subscribe, and like earlier when they were introducing themselves, go check out my homies' channels. My boy Reefplaysgames, literally the name Reefplaysgames. And my boy Silver.Shadow, go check his channel out and subscribe to them, because they put out great content as well too. And look, we all featured in each other's videos, so y'all finna sit here, y'all finna be, laughing no matter who perspective y'all watching, you feel me? But
be ready for those Sparking Zero videos where, we all have to buy it on PlayStation or we're not playing with each other.
Hey, look, people finna get exposed. All right, look, we finna have people in the Discord getting exposed, G. And future reference, I'm sorry, I'm putting pause on all y'all. But
I don't need it.
But yeah, thank y'all. Like and hit the likes and subscribe. We'll be back next time, and this time it'll be the four of us, hopefully. And thank y'all for coming. Hero out. Peace.
Nice podcast, man.